Hi, Avi here. Let's have a quick look at Bytedeck from the instructor perspective. So this video will just show you around very quickly. Notice that when you arrive in your deck, you're going to be arriving in your Quest Approvals tab right over here. And that these are the tabs that are available. So notice that there's nothing here that's waiting for me to approve it. I do have a quest here that was returned to a student for more work. I have several quests which have been approved, and I have none right now that have been flagged for further attention. Now, the two areas that I look at first when I arrive in my deck is I look at the quest approvals waiting for me, and I also look at the notifications because students might be trying to contact me. So I click on that and I see that Avi the student completed a quest and added a comment. Now, if I want to respond to that comment, all I have to do is click there, takes me to that quest. I see the comment right here, and I can respond to it here. Some of the more important areas that you'll be working with are here on the left. Quests are all of your quests. So these are the ones that have been published and are visible by the student. These are the drafts that are not visible by the students yet because they're not ready. That was under quests. Now beside quests, there are these three dots, and if I click on them, I can expand it. And it provides you quick access to campaigns. Campaigns are basically groups of quests grouped together. And a link to my draft quests, and then also a link to Common Quest info. Let me show you what Common Quest info looks like. Here's a quest that uses one of my Common Quest informations. There it is on the left. This is where it shows up. If I want to see all of my Common Quest infos, all I have to do is click on here, and I've got three of them that I can reuse on quests. And it's very easy to add them to a quest, and I'll show that to you later when I show you how to create quests. The other thing here are badges. Badges are really a pretty powerful tool that can be used to give extra credit for work, to award folks. For example, completed a web build. I can grant this manually, which is how I've got this set, or I can have this automatically granted if the students have completed something specific. You notice that I have some extra XP badges here, and I also have these organizational or group badges. I can group them by awarding them a badge, and then I can make that badge a prerequisite for specific quests. More on that later. You can see that just while I've been working with you, I have another notification from one of my students. I'll have a look at that later. The other really powerful tool is the maps. If I click on that, it shows me the maps for the quests. And this is a terrific way of visualizing for the students and for the instructor the pathways that you want people to follow. For example, everybody starts with this quest, but once they've completed that quest, it releases these two. Well, when they go to this, that releases this quest, that releases this one, this completing this one releases that one, completing this one releases these three. These three are their own maps. So you notice that it can get fairly complex, especially if you don't use these embedded maps here. If you have everything on one map, it can be pretty crazy looking. I seem to use students a lot. I'll click on this and I need to hide these students, but I will show you this student because it's really a fake student. So I click on that and it shows me a bunch of different things. It's where I can change the student's password if they're having trouble. It's where they can change their profile or I can change their profile. It's where you can see a mark calculation. So how is the student doing? There's another chart which is fairly interesting that I'd like to show you. Let me just go back. It's this one, right over here. This is a fairly new feature, and it's the ability to tag quests. And you can make the tags a learning outcome. For example, if you're working in math, like I've got social learning, secret layer, I'll probably have a few others. But if you're doing math, You might have area and perimeter as a learning outcome, where a bunch of quests are associated with that. You might have area of a circle, and you'll have some quests that are associated with that. And what happens is it shows how many XP have been worked on that tag. So the neat thing is here is that there's also this chart, and that's new as well. And it shows you in chart form what the student has been focusing on. This can be a very powerful tool. I only have 2 items tagged over here, but you could have 10 items over here where you can immediately see where the student is spending more of their time, less of their time. The student can see this as well. They can make decisions about, you know what, I haven't done enough work on the volume of a cylinder, so I'm going to do some quests on that. Or the teacher can tell the student that as well. The other thing I wanted to show you really quickly is under admin here. You can edit ranks, more on that later. You can edit the tags. You can edit campaigns or create campaigns. You can create groups so that you can itemize which quests go to which groups, or courses or semesters. You can edit the semesters here as well. I think that's enough for your first look at Bytedeck. Thank you so much for your attention.